by Choice Tings, baby. I decided from that point forward, I would never, never on my mama fall in love again. Another video created by Choice Tings, baby. So I've been, as you guys know, I've been on this healing journey, this whole little process, and I've been, talking a little bit about, well, first it was the introduction, and my last video was about still with healing, but with kind of like choosing a side, like choosing to heal through Christ and like righteousness, or choosing to heal the way of the masses and the collective and the world in a toxic way, or really choosing to like the more narrow path and the process and what it looks like. And so that whole thing, this whole journey has been amazing. It's been scary. It's been sometimes lonely, confusing. And so a lot of you know that the reason what actually catapulted me on this healing journey was my relationships. They always say it's the law of attraction, and you attract what you are what you eat, you screw what you do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard that one, but that's a new one. You screw what you do, Lord. And I realized in that last situation, so this was 2021, I realized that me and this guy were exactly the same. So once I started to really like go within from that relationship, I realized I'm attracting a lot of these narcissists. Like, that's getting weird, Lord. Like, what's going on? So every time I'm like, wow, you a narcissist, you a narcissist, you a narcissist. So I started to even think that my soul mission was to stop all the narcissists. Like, oh, God put them in my past, I can stop these niggas. When I had to realize, baby, you may not be a narcissist, but you have narcissist tendency. Know what I'm saying? Once I went into that came into that realization, I started to really go back into all of my relationships. So the first relationship that was the worst relationship for me was my dad. And when you're growing up, you don't know and realize that a lot of the things that happen to you when you're young morph you into the person that you are when you're older. You don't know that. Nobody, well, I mean, I was like 5 when I came out the womb, so I kind of knew, because, I'm a little different. Me and the doctor was like talking and stuff when I came out the womb, so he kind of like told me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But most people don't, because they're not like me. But like, you don't really know that when your mama took your toys from you every time you did something wrong would make you super like protective of your stuff, and thinking that every time when you get in relationships that every time you do something they're gonna take your stuff. You don't think that that's the case, but that is the case, Lord. And we really can't help those things. So my dad was my first worst relationship, and it was an abandonment thing. So as I started growing up and getting into my own relationships, I didn't realize that I had abandonment issues. I didn't realize that I was someone that, and you don't know Like, you're not, well, I did, because I was 5 when I came out. But, anyway, 2021, I started to go back and reflect on the way I was. And so in my first relationship, I was super toxic. I was like physically abusive. Like, a lot of people see me now in this way and they're like, oh, I get judged all the time. Like, oh, you're like this and you're like this. It's like, no, baby, I understand some things. Shorty is not perfect. Know what I mean? So the first guy that I was with was the guy I really loved. Like, he was the one guy like I loved so much just for nothing. Like, we were together when I was like 17 until I was like 20. But I loved him. Like, and I don't even know. Like, I really did. You know what I'm saying? So freaking, when I got and started, but we broke up. So when we broke up and he kind of like, we broke up, he had a kid and everything. And so that devastated me. Now, this is just a few years after my father abandoned me again. So I felt again abandoned. I felt like, what in the world? Why don't nobody want me for me? No matter, like, why can't it be like, oh, we work it out or we fix it or whatever? But I'm not even really thinking like, girl, some people got limits, nigga. Some people don't got to deal with that because you tripping. And but in my mind, I put it all into the same category. Like, my dad, when I was 16, left me again. And had been doing it the in and out my whole life. Like, he left initially. We left when I was 3. Then he came back when I was around maybe like 9. And then his sister, my aunt, started to try and come back, you know, at his place and stuff like that. But nobody was consistent. Like, nobody. Like, nobody was consistent in my life. Like, it was like in and out. Like, okay, so 9 and then 12 and then 15 and then the last time with him and I was 16. Or, yeah, 16. Wait, when did I move? And then, I can't remember. And so, yeah, it had to be because then that year was when I met my ex. I mean, I guess I could say his name because it ain't really nothing bad I'm saying about him, but his name is Chris. Like, he was the love of my freaking life. Like, for real. So, freaking Chris came along, and it was right after I had already moved to North Carolina, and I was supposed to be living with my dad, but he kind of just like threw me away. Was like, girl, go ahead, don't nobody care, go do what you do, ain't nobody tripping, bye, and bye, girl. And no aunt, no nothing fought to keep me there. Nobody could care less. So then Chris comes along, and I remember when my dad called one night and like blamed me for everything that went wrong in his life. Like, he was just like, girl, it's your fault. Like, for the 1 month that you was around, my car went down, and it was because I had to come to the school and pick you up that one time in your whole 16 years, nigga. And you're the reason that everything just went downhill. And I remember Chris just being there like my little knight in shining armor. Don't think at that point it was a trauma bond. I think, because, I mean, his father wasn't there either. So maybe it was. Maybe it was a trauma bond, actually. Damn, I don't remember. Where was his daddy? Damn. So it possibly was a trauma bond. We moved so fast, 17, and we moved in 17, and, you know, went all fast and all that stuff. But to me, real love meant you would stay no matter what. Now, put a pause in that. When I was younger, I used to run away. And my mom used to always, like, come find me, come do all this stuff, and, like, look for me. And the more I ran away, the more she was, like, interested in like, what was going on with me. So I started to develop this whole little, like, emotional manipulation type of thing. So, of course, not realizing it until 2021. Okay? So I've been 17 many long times ago days. Long times ago days. 30 was when I figured it out. Okay? So freaking, I'm lying. No, it was 30, yep. So when Chris, whatever, I'm abusive, I'm like, you should love me through this. Stop playing. He didn't. Eventually he got tired. He's like, girl, we don't gotta go through this. Where I know that we loved each other. We were young. It was that young love. Of course we did. He was like 2 or 3 years older than me, but it was still like that kind of like, I love you, whatever. Ride or die. We doing some gangster stuff. We gangster loving. Cause boy, you got me bugging. Yeah, is that the song? So freaking, once it like ran its course, like 3 years or whatever, we eventually he decided to start going buck wild, start living his little life, like he wasn't in a relationship. And I was just like, oh, word, really? So he ends up getting into another situation right immediately after and gets her pregnant. And when I tell you that thing went, it hurt so bad. So I decided from that point forward, I would never, ever, never on my mama fall in love again. I decided from that point forward, I would make everybody fall in love with me so that, and I would make them think I'm falling in love with them. So for two reasons. If the first reason, so that they can be head over heels and not want to leave. Second reason is if when I'm ready to go, or if they're ready to go, it won't mean nothing to me. I'm going to make you think that I really am interested. I'm going to make you think I'm really into this. I would have love for them, but it wouldn't be like them. I would give them just a little bit and make them think I'm giving them so much. And just to protect myself. And that's the worst type of behavior. That's the worst way to be. That is worse. You might as well just cheat on me. Like, cheat on them. Just cheat. Like, don't be weird. Just cheat. Like, you already don't care. You already tripping. Just cheat on me, nigga. So when I turned 25, around this time was when I started to notice, like, something ain't right. And also around this time, I started to lose weight too. So on top of me realizing something's not right, I also start to get all this kind of attention that I've never received before. But that's another video. But I did. And let's not talk about that attention, because that's a whole nother thing. That's actually really good. So 25 was when I realized that I wanted to change. I started to notice, like, okay, I'm not staying in these relationships long. It's so easy for me to leave, and I'm like hurting these people. Like, I'm hurting them, but a part of me liked when I left them alone, the begging and them. That to me was love. Like, that to me, I wasn't looking at it like, you're actually breaking these people's hearts. I was not looking at it like that. And so 25 was my first experience of being with someone that didn't like me. Well, I say he didn't like me. Okay, he liked me. But my tactic didn't work on him like it did for everyone else. So he was way more emotionally stable. Way more emotionally stable. And it just didn't have the same effect on him. So he was my second heartbreak. Because, but the heartbreak with him was, why didn't this work? Like, you had to have been gay. It had to be that you're gay, my nigga, because it ain't no way. Ain't no way. And that jump hurt me. Like, he could care less. He like, all right, we gonna be together, bet. Bet, nigga. Let me just get over you real quick, bet. Let me go off to Thailand and out the country and start banging all these shorties, because bet. 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 Big bet. Little bet. Hot bet. Low bet. We bet. You bet. Bet. And I was just like, ouch. 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 It hurts. So time goes on. Get another situation, not a relationship, just like dating or whatever. And because of that situation, the when I was 25 and the big bet, the one that wasn't really like, that my tactic didn't work on, I'm like, okay, something ain't right. Okay? So it gotta be the black men. Because at this point, I'm not realizing what I'm doing. I'm thinking this is what you do. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I know that I'm not giving a lot, but I'm not realizing like the effect it's having, what I'm really doing. So I'm just thinking like, I'm protecting myself. You know what I mean? I was thinking that it was the black men. I was like, bro, talk about no accountability, which is going to be my next video. I was like, it is the black men, because, baby, ain't no way that I'm going through all this and ain't nobody really loving me like I need them to. Like, and the last dude scarred me. I'm like, nah, y'all tripping. Like, y'all ain't supposed to be leaving. Y'all don't love me. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm abusive. I don't care if I talk to you crazy. I don't care about none of that. I don't care. Y'all should stay. Oh, and that was other thing with the dude that was, when I was 25, the one that my tactics didn't work. His mouth was just as lethal as mine. So he made me realize, like, maybe I shouldn't be talking to niggas like that, because, so he kind of shined a light on that for me, because I was like, well, then he didn't start off like that, but once I kept like giving it to him, he just started like, all right, bet, nobody likes you. You ain't never gonna have no friends. All my friends hate you. My mama don't like you. Your mama don't like you. You're the only person I know who mama don't like. Bro, he could not stand me. Got with the Caucasian guy, and so it really was just a cycle of karma. It wasn't really that I was the good person or the bad. It would be that it would start out like I'm doing it the right way or whatever, but then I start to reap my karma from what I did in the last situation or the present situation or whatever. So with the white guy that I dated, he was me. I started telling God at that point, I'm 27, I'm like, I want to change. I was really working on being different. I really was, I wanted to be different. And I would ask God, like, please help me. Like, show me what it is. Because now I done got my heart broken twice. And that last one stung a little different. You know what I mean? And it was more because it was like a mirror. Towards the end, it started to become a mirror. Like, and that shit hurt. So freaking, the white guy, it's almost like, so at that point, God was like, oh, I bet. So every person I was meeting was my reflection. It didn't matter if he was black, white, blue, yellow, green, or purple. He was my reflection. So this guy had abandonment issues. Like, if you told him you needed space, and I mean, in the same house. If you told him you needed to go to the bathroom alone, this man would be tripping. But I was like that. He, like, literally, if you, like, it was so bad. The first day I moved in, here go this man. Wow. And he was like, bet, I'm about to be in here every night. He was. Every single night. But at the time, I didn't know how to say, bro, I don't want this, because I was that. So I'm like, how am I gonna say and tell this man I don't want to do this, but this is what I know love and relationships to be, so why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? Worst decision. Man, this man was, oh my God, if he wasn't me. I mean, temper on 10, on 10,000. And I'm telling you, it was like, God was like, girl, you are going to learn from that. You thought you got your karma? No. Here you go. Here you go.